Hello and welcome to a very special edition of our From the Helm series live here in Adelaide at the Resources Rising Stars Conference that coincides with AFL's Gather Round. Now, instead of bringing to you 7 CEOs in 7 minutes to talk about the companies that they run, we thought we'd put a magnifying glass over the executives behind the companies to hear what they bring to the table, why they're the man or woman for the job, and their history in the mining industry. So let's dive straight into 7 minutes with 7 CEOs.
I am a mining engineer, graduated 20-something years ago, and actually, funnily enough, my first job was working at in the Agnew mining complex, which is only 40 kilometres south of Bellevue. So,
Wow.
Same region, same, similar underground, high-grade gold mine.
Yeah.
It's funny to be, 20 years later, circle back and be, just down the road from there, developing a brand new underground mine that we think is going to be around for the next 20 years.
At University Western Australia, I did a commerce degree in accounting and finance. Then was recruited by KPMG, went through becoming a chartered accountant.
Wow.
And during that process, a lot of my clients were mining clients. So I got good exposure in Western Australia to the mining industry. But having said that, during my sort of university, high school years, I worked as a drilling offsider. First job in mining, really, the big one was with the company called South China Resources, which evolved into Universal Coal.
Yeah.
But sort of fairly small cap type, companies. Went on to $200 million type market cap.
Mm-hmm.
But around that time, a big sort of entrepreneurial investor came through town. I was in London at the time. I'd chosen not to become a partner.
Yeah.
He just said, look, we're starting a company. It's called Kalahari Minerals. It's got a 36% stake in Extract Resources. It's uranium. We've just discovered a maiden resource in Namibia. Would you like to be part of that as the CFO, company secretary? So that's when I sort of started getting involved in uranium.
I'm originally a Kiwi, trained as a geologist in the more classical sense, because in New Zealand, being a geologist is more of a career decision that doesn't necessarily lead to a lot of wealth. You do it because you love it. And then I came to Australia, followed a lady, as a lot of guys do, and that didn't work out within the sort of first 6 to 12 months. So I just struck out and really pushed into work, and Jubilee Mines was my first employer. Yeah. And Kerry Jimenez and we've just caught up recently at this where we are now, and it's what he did for me as a junior really instilled a lot of what I carry now, which is to look after my staff, make sure that one pillar of the business, the people, is well looked after, well crafted, right people in the right place to do the right things, and that's mainly my focus. Is coming from university, doing a geology degree. I did a master's because I wanted to get into the research side, but I really fell in love with mining geology.
We've been in Brazil now for nearly 15 years as Centaurus Metals. Started out life looking at iron ore assets, had this nickel asset for the last 4 years. And yes, we've had to deal with the market conditions, but I think there's probably some unique things that our Jaguar project has to offer that, with the passage of time and when we get our feasibility study out to the market in the next few months, will demonstrate itself. It's quite different to the nickel sulfide space that people might have been exposed to in the broader media as to how tough it is or anything like that. So never saying it's easy, never been something where we've wanted to say, specifically we're in nickel. What we want to do is find good assets in Brazil and then try to develop them and obviously generate shareholder wealth that way.
By default, if you go to Kalgoorlie,
You're in mining. You're in gold.
You're in gold. There's not much point in being anything other than gold. Having said that, Ken is now exploring for base metals.
Oh, cool.
So we had a VMS discovery, which is really exciting, and we've got a big work program ahead of us for that one. But gold it's just got an attraction to it, isn't it?
It's historical, right?
It's one of the.
And now.
There isn't. If you think about gold, everything comes into the mine in a truck, and it goes out in a handbag.
Oh,
so there's no marketing involved.
Awesome.
There's no marketing involved. It's just a great idea, and we're all peers in the gold mining industry. We're not competitors. We might compete for investors' dollars, but we're not. It's not ultra competitive like the spot market.
One of my first big gigs, I think, was I was the chairman of the predecessor to Bellevue, which was called Grady Resources. And that actually had bought the Bellevue asset for $900,000. Steve Parsons joined me shortly after, and now we took that from $900,000 purchase to current value of $2.2 billion. Not a bad effort. You know, the last time you and I spoke, silver was trading at about $22.50.
Yeah.
An ounce is now trading at over $27 an ounce.
Yeah.
Gold was at about $2,100. It's now trading at over $2,300.
It's crazy.
Both those things are absolutely fundamental to the value growth and the new equity drive in both those commodities. What's really interesting from my point of view is gold and silver have decoupled significantly. But silver's not the poor cousin anymore of gold, and hence Mitre mining, which has had a 40% increase in share price in the last week.
I've done a lot of gold,
Yeah.
but I did do platinum for about 8 years in Africa, and that was good fun and just, you know, a little bit more complex on processing and marketing and what have you. So gold is nice in that you produce a gold bar, you fly it off, you get paid for it. There's no
Done.
you know, transportation, there's no major logistics. So gold is very easy. It's very well known processing wise. And so it does make it easy. And once you hold a bar of gold, it's hard to go back.
Well, there you have it. 7 minutes with 7 executives and understanding exactly how they came to be the leading lady and man behind the companies we have spoken to. If you enjoyed that and want to see the full exclusive interviews with each of the executives, please see the links below.